Welcome back, and here we go. So what I got is chain that we're sharpening today on a Timber Tough chain grinder. This chain grinder is probably, I don't know, about 15-ish years old at this point. Not entirely sure when I bought it, but I bought it probably about the time that we started working on saws and small engines, and that's been, I'll say, roughly 15 years. Anyway, that all being said, go through some of the setup here. Angle down here, so that'd be the angle of the top plate of the cutter, and you have another in here, and that is going to be your side plate angle. That's generally 60 degrees. There is a chart. I keep my chart right here on the wall. This is Oregon's chart, I believe, and you go through and pick your size and even what type of chain, and it tells you what your top plate and vice, tilt, the whole deal. Even tells you what size wheel to run. I've really only ever used 1/8 and 3/16 for grinding chains, and pretty much anything other than standard 3/8 chain, I use a 1/8 inch wheel. For the 3/8 chain, I use 3/16. Easy way to remember on the tilt, your right side is away, and it's right away is what they say. The left side cutters, you pull the vise towards you. Now, whenever you go to grind your chain, you're going to want to do this in stages, and you're going to want to do this gently. Do not overheat the cutters, and I'll show you an example of how I do that right now. No need to go banging away on your cutters. It's very bad to do for the wheel and also for the chain. If you overheat the chain, that takes the temper out of the cutter. Whenever you're banging the wheel, you have a chance that you may have the wheel come apart, explode. Again, very dangerous. So don't want to have any injuries here just for sharpening chain. So keep in mind of all the safety sort of deals that are with your machine. And as Norm always said, let's take a moment to talk about shop safety. I tend to not wear gloves whenever I do this. That's up to you. I've always heard that, grinding wheels and things, if you have a pair of gloves on and they grab hold of that, it's going to be more likely to suck you in. So, I do not. I do, however, wear my safety glasses whenever I'm doing this. That's what that little symbol right there means. Now, there should be some sort of guard over this wheel, I am sure, and it may very well have come with this thing, and it most likely was plastic, which probably got broken over the past few years. Now, whether you choose to abide by that in your shop or not, that is totally up to you. I have yet to replace that guard. I tend to keep my fingers away from spinning objects that may do damage to my joints. Don't like that. Now, going forward here, setting the rakers, you're going to want to bring the wheel down on an angle, and it's very difficult to tell, but I actually have this 1/4 inch wheel dressed on an angle to make it wide enough to be able to catch the entire raker at once. I also have it angled in a direction so that it's tapered forward of the cutter, so that you're not running a square edge directly into the wood, and it cuts out on the vibration while you're using the chain. The last thing that we're going to want to do is you're going to want to use this gauge right here, and that's going to show you or tell you the profile of your wheel and what it should be for the chain that you are going to grind. Now, rather than measuring that gauge up against the wheel, I use a piece of cardboard. Grind into the cardboard, check it on the gauge. and I use a Norbide stick. You can also use one of these porous dressing stones. They work pretty well. I got a piece of Norbide from somewhere, and it works probably better. I prefer it. It's a little bit easier to handle. I know those can be kind of pricey, and the block usually comes with the grinder. That all being said, be safe out there, keep your saw sharp, make chips, not dust. I'll be back in the next one. Thanks for watching.